Not enough space? The reality is, you don't have to be a hoarder to use up a lot of space in a tiny apartment or room. You move in, set up a few things, and voila, you can't seem to turn around without hitting something. It can be challenging to adjust to living in a small space, but there's no reason why you have to develop claustrophobia because circumstances dictate you have to do it small, for a while. Especially when there is no shortage of hacks to make organization in a small-sized bedroom a lot less nerve-wracking and even a tad stylish. More on that later. This is 15 DIY organization projects for small bedrooms by simphome.com. Number 15. Mirror Folding Table. This mirror table combo fits the multi-purpose furniture tag. Most times it is, and serves, as a wall-mounted mirror. However, you could unfold it to be a table when the need arises. The appeal of the mirror folding table stems from its simplicity, dual functionality, and the ease with which you could easily put it out of the way. It also adds to the aesthetics of the room. On a basic level, it comprises 2 slabs of wood. One slab has the mirror, another slab has a cutout to show the mirror when folded. And both slabs are connected together and to the wall with hinges. For this idea, you can reduce cost by using salvaged wood or old HT stamped pallets, and you could use a picture instead of a mirror or acrylic sheet. Number 14. Minimalist Oak Desk. If you're thinking of a cool, impressive, crafty weekend project to get busy with, this is it. It is a stylish, standard desk but with an opening for storage. It isn't complicated or anything. You only need 4 wood pieces, actually 2 boards that you'd later cut in 4, and a bunch of supporting materials, screws and brackets mainly. To give your new oak desk better finish, apply tung oil. It'll darken the wood slightly, but wouldn't erode its matte finish. Number 13. Inverted Bookshelf. That looks a bit weird, right? And it's not so much about its cool factor. It's also about the effective use of all available space. You can organize your books on both surfaces of the bookshelf. It looks futuristic, but it's actually fairly easy to put together. Besides the obvious basic materials for the bookshelf, all you really need is a staple gun and elastic webbing. That said, inverting a book doesn't negatively affect its lifespan, in case you're worried about that. Number 12. Floating Bookshelf. If you've got a small library of books that are eating space on a desk, table surface, or can't seem to fit anywhere without cluttering, you may want to consider this floating shelf concept. It is stylish, but doesn't require a ton of effort or materials. It is basically a tall spine, board, supporting a few shelf boards. Doesn't get any simpler than that. And stacking books vertically is more of a visual treat that deviates from the traditional upright organization of books. For this floating bookshelf, use countersunk screws to attach each shelf to the support board securely. Afterward, consider adding a little extra support to the underside of the lower shelves where you're likely to store heavier books. Number 11. Floating Shelf with a built-in light. As you'd noticed, a recurrent theme amongst most ideas on this list is adding extra storage. It seems like you can't have enough storage in a small apartment or room. This DIY, a floating shelf with a built-in light, is simple, creative, and offers extra lighting in addition to storage. It is the ideal thing to place in one of those nooks where a traditional furniture really wouldn't fit, or look right in. Full disclosure, you'd have to do a bit of wiring. There's a bulb. But no, it isn't as hard as it sounds. It's really easy, and if you're a rookie at wiring, now's the time to pick up a valuable skill that'd come in handy. Number 10. Under bed drawers. It isn't exactly a novel idea to keep stuff under your bed. We've been doing that since we were kids. But organizing stuff down there with drawers, now that's something that should perk your ears. This DIY is the very definition of easy. All you really need is to touch up a couple of old drawers and attach casters underneath them for mobility. Then organize your things in them and roll them under your bed, under bed drawers. You may also repurpose an old large shelf to serve as an underbed drawer. Get more info on description area. Number 9. Platform Bed. Platform beds are particularly artsy, but when paired with large drawers, they could potentially relieve you of your storage headache. A platform bed with underfloor storage may be just what you need to get a strong hold of the organization dilemma in your small bedroom. That's the good news. The not-so-good news is that platform beds are not as easy to put together as most of the projects on this list. But if you do look past the amount of effort required, the result is unarguably satisfying and well worth the effort. The tutorial offers you over a dozen different platform bed DIY ideas to choose from. Number 8. Modern Farmhouse Murphy Bed. We've gone on about the Murphy table already. This Murphy bed DIY has an obvious similarity. You can just fold it up when not in use. But that's about as far as the similarities go. It isn't exactly an easy, quick DIY by any chance. You'd be dealing with large boards and lots of other materials, an extensive plan and multiple steps, and it isn't the most inexpensive project on this list. With that out of the way, the Murphy bed would be a brilliant addition to any small bedroom, giving you a ton more space, both free and storage, than you thought possible. Number 7. Rolling Shelf. If you have a little nook in your room where you could hide this, then there's hardly a case you can make against this project. It is a standard shelf with handles on one side and casters underneath it. That's all there is to it. Therefore, you only have to take dimensions to make a shelf that'd slide in and be hidden from sight seamlessly. Then you can apply paint, if you wish, to match your decor, and add the handles and casters. Number 6. Over-the-door hooks. Okay, so most DIY projects on this list are all about making good use of available space. But how about kicking it up a notch to make space out of thin air? This idea isn't particularly new. Doors have flown under the radar as capable organizers, even though they aren't typically used to store a lot of stuff. However, in a small bedroom, you have to use all the tricks in the book. But sometimes you may run into a hiccup. Say for some reason you can't place traditional over-the-door hooks because there isn't enough space between the door frame and the top of the door. That's where this hack comes in. You simply make your own over-the-door hooks that fit like a glove. You may want to use a nail to make a small divot before drilling to help prevent the screw from slipping. Number 5. Closet Makeover with Stencil. Sometimes the current setup of your closet may not be the most efficient. And no, I'm not talking about the mess you've made because you happen to be a chronic procrastinator. This reference obviously doesn't apply to those who have OCD. I'm saying if you've got something like this, for example, then a makeover could have it look this way with substantial expenses since you'd focus on reusing or repurposing existing materials. You can pick up ideas from this project for your closet makeover and consider investing in a stencil that catches your eye. There are no rules to follow. You only have to tap into the creative you to ensure the new setup makes better use of the space than the old one. Planning the makeover before setting out to make changes may be an important step not to gloss over. Number 4. $50 Closet Makeover Kit Idea. If you have a fairly bland closet that looks like this, then one thing is for sure, it isn't going to store a lot of your stuff. You can change that with a bit of planning, cutting, and installation. Now, this isn't a quick project. However, each step is really easy. The closet has 3 primary components: a top shelf, a shelf drawer system that divides the sides in the middle, and a bottom shelf. You'd probably have to make adjustments since closet sizes in all homes are not uniform, but the detailed guide takes you through all of it from start to finish. And when you're done, something like this image would greet you when you look at your closet. That's a lot of stuff for a small closet, right? Number 3. Eliminating wasted closet space. It's amazing what will, creative thinking, and a free afternoon can do to a closet with tons of misused or wasted space. This project breathes new life into your closet's appearance and organization. It isn't a full-on makeover. Instead, it's more of an incremental update. The instruction gives you a rundown of what the project entails. Number 2. Open wardrobe. At some point, you have to take a couple steps back and try out a different approach to organization: minimalism. The open wardrobe concept thrives on this approach, as you have to cut out a lot of clutter and embrace the idea of having a bit freer space. The guide to this concept delves into the core of the thought behind this concept, requirements, and the process to make it work for you. It is stylish, clean, and, just as importantly, inexpensive, since you'd have to be resourceful with the pieces that you already own and lean on your skills a little more. Before we get to number 1, I suggest you press the subscribe button if this channel is new to you, and the bell icon beside it. This way, you'll be notified of the new videos every time I have published it. Number 1. Hanging storage crates. This project is majorly about maximizing the use of space and, importantly, without having to do a ton of maneuvers, complex woodworking, and the likes. It comprises of 2 rope strands suspending a vertical stack of crates that serve as storage. Making it happen is as easy and as inexpensive as it sounds. And by DIY standards, this project does offer a bit of versatility, since you get to choose the sizes, styles, and shapes of crates you'd want to use. Step 1. Use the tape to get a concrete measurement of the vertical distance from the rod to the floor. Lay the exact tape measurement on the ground and use it as a guide to verify how you'd stack the crates. You should particularly pay mind to the space between the crates, above and below each crate. Step 2. Give each crate proper and thorough sanding. Don't skip the nooks between the slats. Step 3. Use a 1-inch hole saw bit to drill 4 matching holes at the edges of each corner. To avoid splintering, don't drill a hole through at a go. Instead, drill halfway from the bottom, then flip the crate and drill from the inside. Step 4. Do quick sanding around the holes. Also, remove any dust on them. With that done, paint all crates using a paintbrush or paint sprayer and spray shelter. The paint used for this project is chalk paint. Afterward, seal using some satin polyurethane, which you should also spray on. Using a sprayer and spray shelter allows easier painting of the crate slats. Step 5. Begin the process of hanging the crates. That involves measuring out 2 sufficient rope lengths and tossing them over the bar. Alternatively, you may cut each rope length in 2, then tie the divided ropes above the bar. This allows for easy disassembly of the setup. This touch uses the former option. That's it! Since you're still watching, like this video before you leave and share it with anyone close to you in your social circle. Done! See you again later with more home decor ideas, I hope, and thanks for watching.